We find ourselves on the eve of the Columbus Day holiday weekend. Welcome aboard for the Friday, October 10th edition of Barnstable Today. I'm Mark Mumford.
The Charter Commission is adding meetings as it feels a deadline looming. They supply our top story today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kevin Friel.
Last evening's meeting in Town Hall focused on what range of powers would rest with a town-elected town council president.
No decision had been made as the Charter Commission was about to wrap up its 2-hour session and prepare for the next two.
I mean, that's why I'm saying that the flexibility of maybe meeting a little earlier or picking a Wednesday or perhaps, a different location. But I'm already in conflict just with this second and fourth Tuesday in a few instances. So I wouldn't want to increase.
We're looking at Wednesdays as a good.
Wednesday's good for me.
Wednesdays. Okay.
Wednesdays.
Sheila, why don't you go for, excuse me?
I was just going to say, I can't, I think I ruled out some night before, but now we're talking from now till January for weekly things, and so I'm willing to pretty much do anything. And I think mostly everybody is, unless
Sheila, let me put you on the road to
conflict
Wednesdays. Okay, and maybe why don't we just say the senior center to make the search a little easier, other than the nights we've already booked here. Okay, we'll never get this done in time for next Wednesday, so we're looking at, in my opinion, why not do a back-to-back 2 weeks hence? A Wednesday, come back the following night on a Thursday. So 2 weeks from, okay?
Wednesday night, generally, the zoning board meets, and I don't know what their meeting schedule is.
We're talking about going to the senior center.
Senior center, I don't. Okay.
Right.
All right, let me see what I can do.
You got to put, so 2 weeks from tonight is what, the 22nd? 22nd. No.
No, 2 weeks from tonight, I'm sorry, it's the 23rd. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So the day before is the 23rd.
22nd.
22nd. 20 is the 22nd. Any objection to tentatively looking for a location for the 22nd and then meeting again the next night?
2 nights in a row would be great. I think that's a good idea. I think you'd get a lot of flow that way.
Okay. Laminar or otherwise, we're going to get flow. Okay. 2 weeks hence, we're looking at probably 2 meetings that week.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Where do we stand with the consultants? When will they be coming back?
The consultants are at the 50% mark of their thing. They've got a lot of work to do when we start drafting. I have basically told them not to bother to come until I tell them to come. My reason being that in most of the discussion we had tonight, their contribution was negligible. So I'm not comfortable with expending money if we're not gaining. I think at the point that we've gotten over, here's our model, start to finalize it, we're wasting our money.
Yeah, I think I'd like to hear from the point where we say, here's what we think we want to do, and
Yes.
then hear from them about what they think the implications of that are, because I think they're really good. That's something that they're really good at.
Yeah, what they did not...
Before we get to a final, this is what we want you to write kind of thing.
Why don't I tell them to skip next Wednesday and tentatively plan on Thursday?
Maybe that's probably a good idea.
Into the mic. Yeah. You can just nod your head.
Meet
But
the night before
Right.
on our own, and then have them here the very next night. That would be.
And if we decide the night before to call them off, I'm sure that won't be insufficient notice to them. Anything else? Okay, so tentatively we're going to be doing 2 weeks from yesterday and 2 weeks from tonight back to back.
A group of fourth graders from the Marston's Mills East Horace Mann Charter School toured Hyannis Harbor on a recent field trip, learning about the concept of interdependence.
Among the folks fielding their questions were Mark Wilkins from the Cape Cod Maritime Museum and Margot Sherman at the Artist Shanties.
That's what you did. These boats would come in. There was over 4,000 of these boats in Barnstable alone, okay, during the late 19th century, early 20th century. So these boats would come back with their catch. The catch would be offloaded into these shanties. You would shuck clams, oysters, scallops, whatever. Guess what you got paid to do this per day? Just guess.
Fish.
A fish.
10 cents.
Less than that.
1 penny.
More than that.
5 cents.
5 cents. You got a nickel. And you'd consider yourself lucky, because back in that time, a nickel could buy a lot more than it does now. The economy was different. The dollar wasn't inflated. You could buy, goods and services. Nickel would go a lot further. So it really wasn't so bad. It's like minimum wage today. Everything's relative, right? So, questions? I know you have some questions. Yes.
What is that right
That
there?
is the rudder. That's a barn door rudder. Looks like a big door of a barn, and it steers the boat by means of the tiller. Watch. Okay? That's how we turn the boat. Turn Sarah. Okay. Yeah.
If there were a storm to come up and you would go in there for shelter, how would you know if you were going to have a shipwreck if there was, say, a big rock in front of you? How would you know?
Well, fishermen back in the day, that's a good point. Depending on the conditions, like fog, there was no GPS. They had a compass, okay? No Loran, no depth finder. Fishermen were pretty intimately aware of the waters in which they sailed, okay? They knew basically where the shoal areas were, the rocks. But of course, on Cape Cod, shoals shift every year, sandbars. They shift every year with the winter storms. Made it very problematic, very difficult to know what's what.
Thank you for having us.
My name is Kathleen. I work for the town of Barnstable, and this is Margot Sherman, one of the artists that works here at the Artist Shanties. Did you want us to tell us a little bit about it, or did you have questions for us
We have
first?
a first question, and then we'd love to hear all about the Artist Shacks. Okay.
Good morning, Mrs. Sherman. My name is Ben Stacy, and I am a 4th grade student at Marston's Mills East. On behalf of my class, I would like to ask you a question. I would like to introduce you to Selby Tyndall, which is over there.
Hi.
Who will be writing down the answer to your question. Does Spanky's Clam Shack help support your business? If so, can you explain how?
Yes, they do support our business. People going to dinner and lunch and waiting for their turn for the table usually will come and walk through the boardwalk. They have beepers so they can go as far on the boardwalk as possible, and they visit all the shanties and all the artists. Any other questions?
How many paintings do you usually make?
Well, I do all the fabric items. I do the tapestry items and the bags, and I do all the embroidery. We have people from all over the world here. This summer I met a couple from Taiwan. There are people from China, Japan, most of the countries in Europe. We have a lot of, as well as local people. But I do, to answer you, I do all the fabric items.
It was great weather for the 4th graders at the harbor, and we should have similar conditions all the way through the holiday weekend. Tonight, clear skies, maybe some patchy fog with temps dropping down into the upper 40s. Then tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday, plenty of sunshine all 3 days with light winds out of the north and highs in the mid-60s.
No meetings until Tuesday, but then things heat up quickly with a public hearing on a change in shellfish fines taking place in the Selectmen's Conference Room at 10:30. Then at 3, it's the Board of Health, also in the Selectmen's Conference Room. At 3:30, it's the Town Council News Conference in the hearing room, and the Conservation Commission wraps up Tuesday with a 6:30 session in the hearing room as well.
And don't forget, time is running out to register to vote in next month's election. The final day to complete the paperwork is Wednesday, the 15th. The town clerk's office will be open late that night until 8 o'clock.
A sure sign of the season today at the Kennedy Rink here in Hyannis as skating is underway. And don't forget that the Recreation Department's pickup volleyball program is about to launch for the season as well.
That gets underway on Wednesday evenings at the Horace Mann Charter School. For more information, contact John Gleason at the town's Recreation Department.
Thanks for joining us today. I'm Kevin Friel.
We'll see you right back here on Tuesday. I'm Mark Mumford.